Okay, ngasho ngikhuluma iqiniso.
The Chiefs 1, Polokwane City 0. Take number 3. And today I am joined by Tumsani. Sizoqala with a simple question. Yoguti, what did you make of the game? Just a quick summary before we look at the specific talking points. Obviously, introduce yourself as well.
Thank you so much, Mpilo, for having me.
Yeah.
With Tumsani lo.
Yeah.
What I made of the game, number one, well done for the win. Number two, I think that we could have taken a lot more chances than we had. Less scoring. Yeah, that's what I made of the game.
Yeah. So, yeah, one of the things that we're talking about is the Man of the Match award. Because when they said Man of the Match, when the game started, when Bruce made those 2 saves, I was like, oh, now we have the thumbnail of the video. Bruce saved us. Yes, exactly. So that was the thing that we decided. Bruce has saved us because he kept us in the game in those first few minutes. And then you were talking about the other player, which player impressed you the most. And who would you have made Man of the Match for this game?
I think firstly, well done to Pule Modi for being Man of the Match. We don't take that away from him.
Yeah.
But I would have made a Man of the Match Usbong
Yeah.
because he was doing the basics. What a player should do, what a player in his position should do. If a defense has the ball, he has to make sure that he collects the ball and then he distributes that. He did that, some basics, and it was simple. Give me Jebek about women of the match. Yeah.
And you know what? We once again, let's just talk about Pule Modi right now, because I know before you fetch me, let me fetch you. Upule Modi, he had a good game, or should I say a satisfactory game, and ended up scoring the goal. And the way that he scored the goal was what we were saying in the match preview. Uguti, when you give Modi the ball, it should be in front of him. Because when he's not facing goal, he tends to struggle because someone is putting pressure on him. And whenever today he got the ball and it was in front of him, he tried to make something out of it. And then he ended up scoring the goal. And that goal, it was in no shape or form a finder. Because he gets the ball, he cuts in, he sees that the keeper is unsighted, and then he takes his shot, and then it's a goal. It's a good goal. And it's the Pule Modi that we want and we love, So, besides the goal though, what did you make of his performance today?
His performance is slow. It was quite slow. The first few minutes of the game, I couldn't see Pule Modi is on the pitch. Because as you say, he was receiving the ball when his back was faced opposite the goal. So for him, he struggles a lot when it comes to that. And when he receives the ball facing opposite the goal, he tends to pass it back. And it doesn't create much of chances, And another thing, I think that Ilokuza, his performance wasn't entirely on his shoulders. It was a team effort. Why am I saying this? Because Meskala, in the first half, we were quite slow and there was nobody collecting a ball to try and pass it to the attacking players. That's why we found ourselves in an instance where Upule Modi was invisible in the game. Yeah, I think that the first half was quite slow for him. And then the second half, when we were trying to get that goal, that's when we saw him becoming more energetic, becoming more alive, and then ultimately got that goal. Yeah.
And also, by the way, we just want to point out the other thing that happened, how we scored the goal, is Uranga was the one who received the ball and he played it to Modi. And it's the thing that we've been talking about. Uranga should be made a target man, angaloke or drop his swing. Because what ends up happening is then there's no one who target man also bring these wingers into the game. But today, in that goal specifically, he did things right. Which tells me, since this was done like 5 minutes after the second half started, the coach tells the players the right thing to do. And funny enough, after the game, he told us that he wasn't happy about something. And it's something that we were talking about, which is after we scored the goal, we slowed down the game. To a point that Bruce actually got a yellow card for time wasting around the 50th minute. We're like, what is this? So what is the reason for that? What do you think? Why do you think we would slow down the game? Like with 35, it wasn't even 35. Yeah, with 35 minutes to go. Why would the players do that? Or is it an issue of self-confidence or another reason?
I think as much as we are human, also our players are human. I think but bayacabanga ukuthi okay, we've got this lead, let us not disappoint our fans, let us not concede a goal, let us just rather play it safe, let's not be ambitious, let's not try to go forward, because if you do that, we might find ourselves being exposed to counter, and then the opponent might score, and then will ultimately disappoint our fans, and Natis was disappointed. So let us just try to preserve our esteem and just play it safe. So okay, let's not go forward. If we go forward, we're going to mess this up. So it's like they're walking on eggshells. Babe relevant to the fans, try to make the fans happy. So that's why Baba slow it down the game. I understand that from that point of view. But as a fan, as somebody that wants to be proud of their team, they shouldn't do that. They should be more ambitious, go forward, try to score more goals, because now we coach Ushilo, whatever they were doing, he was surprised. Why are we slowing down the game? Why are we not killing our opponents? Because to be quite honest, the Polokwane City, they were not getting at us. After that goal, now trying to figure out they were rattled. Okay, now Kaizer Chiefs they might score more, So now we got something out of them. We made them to be scared, and we could have just taken that to our advantage. Yeah.
And what's interesting is that I know a lot of people who are watching here, they are disagreeing. They're like, versus winner, value must defend what we have. But sometimes at the end of the season, there comes a time where goal difference matters. And you don't want to be in that situation where you lose out on going to play in Africa because you had one goal less than Stellenbosch. Come on. So I do think that from a human perspective, as you are saying, I understand it, because at the end of the day, if you take a poll right now, probably 80% of Kaizer Chiefs fans are just happy with the win, and then 20% of us are like, you could have done better. So exactly.
Even the coach, you can see his subs. Magachinja. He did like for like. Ukipe Uranga Shivaviro, and then he put Gonzalez. Wakipa who was that winger? Kipu Saile, and then Wafaga Lokus Umtuduze Shabalal. It shows that he wanted more from the game. He wanted to attack more. Bagafuna Utuswina with Ngatin. Nice, pretty score, something that we can be proud of. Now, Magabu as a light shows, Ashwood, a Polokwane City clapping a shine of 5-0, or 3-0, something to be proud of. So it shows that Nae, he's got that mindset that we have to attack more, have to score more.
Completely agree. What is funny is that we're looking at the game when it ended. We're looking at Kaizer Chiefs fans, players. This is not wrong. This is correct. Winning a game should mean a lot, right? Winning should mean a lot, just like losing should also mean, wow, we messed it up, right? But we look at Polokwane City players, they are lying there on the floor like they just lost a final against Baroka. And in my head, and we were talking about this and we're laughing, we're like, yes, Polokwane City, I pretend to say Chiefs like they are like, yes, like win. You're like, what? Why are you? What? Baby was a winner the game, and I'm like, and the Chiefs is celebrating like game. What you? It was a close one, but we made it to be a close one. We could have destroyed them. But we have better quality players. But now, from a human perspective, it's once again. We won against Swallows. We win against Polokwane City. Okay, now we win against Richards Bay 2-0. Okay, now we have confidence against so we're building in a way, but it doesn't make for pretty viewing sometimes, because at halftime we switch and we watch Liverpool and Palace, and then it's like net Aibo. So it's like, this is what big teams do. And Liverpool were behind and they came back and they won. So it happens. But now, have we talked about Saile? Because we're recording for the third time. There was load shedding, and then the thing is in the laptop, and you can't access things in the laptop because it needs to be connected to the screen, but you can't connect to the screen because there's load shedding. It's a lot. Anyways, says Kulmina on Saile Levid. No, we haven't. If we have Niskolel. Saile gets an opportunity, 2 opportunities. And also he messes them up. What was the problem there? Because we're talking about a few things, but our viewers obviously don't know what we're talking about. Can you just share what we're talking about those missed chances? We should be showing them, man. Jabongati, professional studio. You see this. Anyways.
The missed opportunities and the problems. Number one, was him getting the ball. There's a man available for him. Muranga Shivaviro's open for him. He can pass the ball, Muranga Shivaviro scores. Okay, or if he wanted to score that goal, he could have opened up his body and then made sure it's okay. Shy target, I forget it. But his body is closed and it doesn't generate enough power for him to shoot the ball and score that goal. So those were the two problems for me. Yeah.
Because another thing, the third problem that you missed,
Okay.
you missed Uguti Usahile. Is looking down most of the times. And it comes obviously to people will say it's selfish, but how can you be selfish if you don't know that you can give? But so because his eyes here and there, he can't even look because Usela. And it's one of the things that you said in the other video that Uguti decision making is not great. And a lot of people end up saying it's just selfish, but it might not be him being selfish. It's the fact that his head is like here, like he's always looking down, but he's not looking around side mirrors, our sebenzi. And because of that, he ends up being subbed all the time when he starts the game. And personally, I've said this, I don't think he should be a starter. What are your thoughts about Silas starting games only for him to be subbed? We know if he starts, he's going to be subbed.
My thoughts about him being a starter, I mean, the opponents know that, okay, Usaile is there, so they focus more on him. Maybe they have a man on him. And then being a sub, I think he becomes that element of surprise. Sometimes Menge, opponents don't know what he's going to give, what he's going to do. So being a sub works to his advantage because of that factor. Starting the game works to his disadvantage because the opponents already know okay, Usaile Sakon, just stick on this man. And sometimes it does derail decision making. Sometimes it is decision making. It's not him being selfish necessarily, it's just him being undecisive sometimes when he has the ball. It's okay, should I pass the ball, should I take on one man, should I just shoot? He doesn't know what to do because of that pressure that's on him. But when he gets in as a sub, I mean, he just injects he injects a lot of energy and we do get something if he's a sub.
No, I completely agree. And talking about how the players are used, let's talk about the subs. We've already talked or introduced. Ranga comes in, goes out. I said Ranga goes out. Chivavero comes in. Anyways, Ranga goes out. Gonzalez comes in, and you already said those were positive subs, and the timing was good. What was their impact on the game, though? Shabalala, Beno Gonzalez. What did you see from them when they came on?
Okay, ngasho ngikhuluma iqiniso.
Ranga goes out, Gonzalez comes in, Mtu comes in, Saile goes out. What was their impact, those two subs? Did they make any difference?
I would be honest with you, there was not much difference that they made. Reasons being is that we had slowed down the game and they were not able to receive balls so that they can be creative, and show us what they can do. The impact was quite minimal in the game. Instead, okay, there was a time Laumtu was I think there was a time you thought the ball was out. There was a pace, but there wasn't much that he could have done to inject a lot of energy and a lot of attacking attributes for Kaizer Chiefs because we had slowed down the game.
And that wasn't the coach's instruction, obviously, because obviously you are leading. It's 66. If your approach is wanting to defend, he would have brought on Jablong Ngobo, but he didn't. Instead, he brought on Kozungobo. He brought him on like last as a last sub, which means on around that time when he brought on those two guys, he still wanted something from the game. So I do think what we said earlier about the confidence and wanting to make the fans happy also applies here. And then we have our player, obviously, Edson Castillo, who has played as a defensive midfielder, as an 8, as a 10, as a striker, as a winger. Today they brought him on for Mshini, he played as a 10. But then when they took out Modi and brought on Ngobo, they played him as a winger. But most of the time, when he came on, they're playing him as a winger. Which brings us to this topic. Where do you think he should be used, Castillo, in at Kaizer Chiefs? Because now for the past 2 games he's been benched. To understand against Swallows, he had returned from national duty. But today he was benched, and obviously because those guys apparently performed well together against Swallows. But who are Kaizer Chiefs' best 3 midfielders? Or if Castillo does play, where should he play and why?
Okay, I think he should play where Yusuf Mat plays. Okay, ngasho ukuthi why he should play there. We haven't seen a combination yakhe nomthethwa. You know, we'd like to see that, and I would like him to play there kuleyo position la Yusuf Mat adlala khona, because when he goes forward sometimes Castillo we get a goal, you know. So I'd like to see him ukuthi angene and just see what he can do kuleyo combination yakhe nomthethwa, and maybe for a few matches I replace nje uMat kancane, you know. We're not saying that Yusuf Mat is a bad player. We're not saying that Yusuf Mat is not performing. He's putting in the work, but I think that Castillo is better than Yusuf Mat. You know, although singasho ukuthi Yusuf Mat is good, but Castillo is better than Yusuf Mat. Because we've seen how he is in front of goal. He's not afraid of shooting. He does have a characteristics of a Kaizer Chiefs player, of a typical Kaizer Chiefs player. He does have those characteristics. Yeah.
And in the other video that we recorded, oh, load shedding, we were doing a short poll. Both of them are number 8s. For me personally, Bango number 8 because they can do the box to box thing, and that's what a typical number 8 does. We said, is Yusuf Mat physical? Yes. Is Castillo physical? Yes. You require that. Number 2, does Castillo know how to control the game by playing these short passes? Yes.
He does.
Mart? Yes, it does. We also talked about their defensive abilities. Does Mart defend? Yes. Does Castillo defend? Yes.
He does.
Now we talk about creativity. These defense splitting passes or passes that are good going forward. That's where Castillo starts having an edge over Mart. But you don't see him do that because most of the times they're playing him wide, so he's not in a position where he can receive the ball. Once again, don't hear what we're not saying. We're not saying Mart is bad.
No.
We're saying Castillo is better. Because also, if you look at the goal contribution, how many goals has Yusuf Mat scored? 0 this season, if I'm not mistaken. Has he scored? I'm not sure. But if you have scored, correct us on the comment section and subscribe while you're doing that and like the video. Because we're saying that Castillo makes these late runs into the box and then he scores. Castillo can just offer you more in terms of goal threat wise. But he's not being put in that position and utilized in a proper way such that he will continue having that kind of impact. And because of that, vele abantu will say up and below they kept Mart and Teto because of continuity. We get that, but you cannot justify why you're gonna bench someone who has had more impact on the team overall than the other one. Because remember, Castillo is also in his first season with Chiefs, yet he has contributed more goal-wise for Chiefs. And we're talking about how Chiefs are lacking goals, how Chiefs are lacking creativity, yet you are sitting there, one source of goals in the bench. You get me? Another player who's been leading in terms of assists is Potsdam. He's disappeared. Where is he? So it's all these questionable things, like why was Sam Golozwane not involved today? We don't want to be too negative, but we have to ask these questions. Because once again, Richards are watching. Isekukune are watching. With the next game, ba wikila. You get me? But anyways, I will just ask you in an overall sense, what do you make of like Kaizer Chiefs where they are right now and going forward? Do you have confidence that we can win the next 2 games before the AFCON break?
To be quite honest, Mpilo, even when the game started, even before the game started, I was nervous about the game. To be honest. Ngiyasaba ngithi inkosi angazi na lihlazo mhlambe sizowina. I don't know what's going to happen. So that's where my confidence level is. Kaizer Chiefs would even the next game is hey angazi.
Richards is not make sure
but ngiyasaba. Given the fact of how we played today. Okay, was winile. The end result is winile, but the way we're going after getting that goal, you can see that we're not confident in ourselves. So if we're not confident in ourselves as players, how are we going to make our fans become confident in us? So I'm always on the edge, Miss Lala, to be honest.
Yeah, because the other thing, these guys, these other opponents, they smell it. They smell the feel good, okay. And that is why I feel like Chiefs has struggled to come back in most games this season. Because the goal goes in and then we go like,
we just
ish.
go down,
Yeah, bro.
yeah.
So now when we get one goal, we go crazy. Like, yeah, we won. Yes, yes. Yeah, bro. So, yeah, but I will say we are happy, obviously, with the win.
Yeah.
But I do feel like there's a lot of room for improvement. Shout out to Modi for winning us the game. Shout out to Vuma for brilliant saves.
Yeah.
And I think giving him Simango, just on a side note, he needs to wake up a bit because there are some sloppiness in terms of positioning sometimes, and we need him to take that position from Usbis in that Bafana squad because he's a better player than Usbis.
Yeah, he's more capable.
Yeah, but so yet Usbis is being selected. So yeah, it's just that. Guys, what did you think of the game? Let us know down on the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember, equals Alpelumo. Yeah.